Now in campaign 2016, some primary upsets, while some local politicians with longevity held on to their posts, others lost out. Eyewitness News political analyst and pollster Joe Fleming joining us now with a wrap-up of some of these tight primary races. First up, the race that surprised a lot of us.
Yes.
And that House Majority Leader John DeSimone lost by the slimmest of margins.
It was, Patrick, and I think that was the upset of the night. I think people knew he was in a competitive race, but I think what happened was she ran a very aggressive campaign, and she was able to pull it off. John's been there for 24 years, but I think the voters in the district were looking for a change based on the results.
So we don't know much about Marcia Rancilio, so what do we expect from her? I mean, it's uncharted territory for her, of course.
Uncharted territory. Obviously, I think there's a Republican in that race in the general election she has to defeat first, but it's a very Democratic district. She'll be a freshman representative, so obviously she will not have the power that the majority leader had, but obviously she'll be trying to make her input and her impression in the General Assembly right from the very beginning.
In House District 21, Warwick Councilwoman Camille Bella Wilkinson beat Representative Eileen Naughton. She'd been in the seat since 1992.
Right, same as John DeSimone. Camille is a very popular councilwoman from the city of Warwick, and I think that helped her greatly. She ran a very aggressive campaign, and I think with everything together, that really put her over the top.
Another newcomer, Maura Walsh, defeated Providence Rep. Thomas Pelangio by just 21 votes.
Right. He's been fairly ill, my understanding is, and she ran a very aggressive campaign. I think she got out there and worked very hard. I think as a result of that, she was able to pull that off. Very, very low turnout, if you notice, like only 600 people voting in the whole district.
Well, that's the other thing I want to talk about is, well, first of the congressional races, and obviously David Cicilline, Jim Langevin, basically on cruise control. It would seem to another term for both of them.
Both of them are in cruise control, another term. They have Republicans running against them, but I don't think either of the Republicans are very strong at this point. The interesting point with David Cicilline, about a third of the people voted against him, and in the town of Cumberland, he only won by 90 votes over Chris Young. So it looks like David Cicilline is in the Patrick Kennedy mode, where about a third of the voters vote against you almost every time. But again, you may get a third against you. It's getting the other 17%. That's the hard part.
That's right. Now I want to talk to you about voter turnout. Ted Nesi was on with us this morning, our WPRI.com reporter, saying something around 7 to 8% statewide for turnout, which is really low.
Yes, but it's not surprising. There was no marquee races, Patrick. You had 2 congressional races, both low-key. You only had 2 mayor races. One of them drew voters out, North Providence, 31%. You had some state reps and state senate races, but other parts of the state, the only thing on the ballot was congressional. So you had turnouts that were probably 1%, 2%, 3% in some of those districts, which brought it way down. Unless there's something big on the ballot, the voters don't come out in the primaries.
Do you think there'll be a difference in November?
Absolutely. We're probably talking 60, 65% of the voters in November. I think you're going to see at the polls yesterday, basically, you can shoot a can and not hit anybody. In November, there's going to be a lot of people at the polls. Rhode Island votes very heavily in a presidential election.
Some people saying there were more people working at the polls yesterday than actually going in to vote.
In some of the areas where the only thing on the ballot was a congressional race, that's absolutely true. But again, come November, you're going to see voters going very heavily in a lot of these districts.
All right, Joe, thank you as always. Another long